Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share with you a secret so profound, yet so simple, that if you truly understand it and apply it, it can transform every area of your life. You see, most people spend their lives struggling to achieve their desires, believing that the outer world must change first, that circumstances must align, that people must act a certain way before their wishes can come true. But I am here to tell you that the world outside is nothing more than a reflection of the world inside. Your imagination, the very space where your thoughts dwell and your emotions reside, is the true creative power, the fertile soil from which every experience grows. And if you learn how to enter that sacred space and truly feel your wish fulfilled, you will awaken a force so powerful it will bring your desire into manifestation as naturally as a tree grows from a seed. Now, let us consider something fundamental. You do not create by wishing in the future. You do not create by praying for something that seems far away or unattainable. Creation occurs in the present moment, in the here and now, where your mind and your imagination converge. Everything that you have ever experienced, every success, every joy, every relationship, every possession, first existed as a feeling, a state, a scene in your mind. Nothing comes into the world without first being conceived in the imagination. The moment you recognize this truth, you realize that you hold the key to all possibilities within your own consciousness. I want you to listen carefully, for this is where many people stumble. They believe that if they merely visualize an outcome, it will manifest. Visualization alone is not enough. The mind is like a canvas. Your thoughts are the brushstrokes. But without feeling, without living in the reality of the imagined scene, your creation lacks the lifeblood that brings it into form. Feeling is the secret. Feeling is the language of creation. When you can feel your wish as if it were already accomplished, you impress it upon the subconscious mind, and the subconscious, which knows no distinction between reality and imagination, moves to make it real. Imagine for a moment that your wish has already been fulfilled. Perhaps it is a desire for wealth, for love, for perfect health, or for an achievement you have longed for. See it clearly in your mind's eye. But don't stop at seeing. Immerse yourself in the emotions that would naturally arise if this wish were indeed reality. How would you feel waking up in the morning, knowing that your wish is no longer a distant hope, but a present fact? What thoughts would occupy your mind as you go about your day? What joy, what satisfaction, what peace would fill your heart? Allow yourself to live in that feeling. Do not imagine the path. Do not analyze how it will come to be. Simply feel the reality of it as if it exists now. Many people think that life is a matter of time and effort, that if they work hard enough, struggle long enough, or endure enough hardships, they will eventually see their desires realized. But this is a misunderstanding of the natural law of creation. The law does not reward effort or endurance. It responds only to the state of consciousness, to the inner experience of fulfillment. The moment you can convincingly enter the state of having already achieved your desire, the universe, which is but a mirror reflecting your inner world, responds in kind. All circumstances, all events, all people are drawn into alignment to express the reality you have felt within. To truly feel your wish fulfilled, you must first become aware of how powerful your inner life is. Most people are so absorbed in the drama of the external world that they ignore the theater of the mind. They believe that the world outside is shaping their destiny, unaware that it is their inner state that shapes the world. You must learn to dwell in the feeling of your wish already realized, even when your outer senses tell you otherwise. If you desire a loving relationship, feel the warmth, the intimacy, the joy of that love now. If you desire financial abundance, feel the relief, the freedom, the gratitude, as if the money is already in your possession. If you desire health, feel the vitality, the strength, the energy, as if you already enjoy perfect health. Many people ask, but what if the outer circumstances don't match my inner feeling? This is precisely where faith and imagination become indispensable. The outer world is merely the echo of the inner state. Do not be concerned with what you see in your present moment. Instead, insist upon living in the feeling of the fulfilled wish. Imagine a scene that implies the reality of your desire and enter it with all your senses. Hear the sounds, see the colors, feel the textures, taste the joy, smell the satisfaction. Let it envelop you completely so that your body, mind, and spirit resonate with it as a truth already made manifest. Now, I must emphasize the importance of persistence. The mind is a powerful instrument, but it can be easily distracted by doubt, fear, and old habits of thought. Every time a contrary thought arises, gently return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You are not forcing anything into existence. You are simply acknowledging the truth that already exists in the imagination. Like a seed planted in fertile soil, your desire must be nurtured by attention, belief, and feeling until it germinates and sprouts into reality. The key is consistency. The more often you dwell in the state of fulfillment, the more natural it becomes, and the more rapidly it impresses itself upon the subconscious mind. Think for a moment about the power of assumption. Whatever you assume to be true, consciously and with feeling, becomes your reality. If you assume lack, limitation, struggle, you will live in that state. If you assume abundance, joy, love, health, you will live in that state. This assumption is not an intellectual exercise. It is not merely repeating words or affirmations. It is entering a living experience of your wish fulfilled and inhabiting it as though it were undeniable fact. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is imagined and what is perceived through the senses. It accepts the feeling as reality and acts accordingly, organizing events, opportunities, and people to reflect it in your physical life. I want you to consider how easily you can access this feeling. It is not outside of you. It is not something you must earn or deserve. The feeling is always within your reach, at any moment, waiting to be awakened. It is found in the quiet moments, in the stillness before sleep, in the calm pauses between your thoughts. This is the time when your imagination is most receptive, when the mind is open and relaxed, when you can step into a state of fulfillment effortlessly. Picture the scene that embodies your desire and allow yourself to experience it fully. Let it play in your mind like a movie where you are the main character, living the reality you long for. Some might say, I've tried imagining my desires before and nothing happened. The reason nothing happened is not because imagination is powerless. It is because imagination was not accompanied by feeling. You may have seen the image, but you did not live it. You may have repeated the words, but you did not experience them. The law of creation does not respond to mere mental constructs or empty phrases. It responds to feeling, to the inner conviction that your wish is already fulfilled. Without feeling, your imagination is like a spark that fails to ignite a fire. With feeling, your imagination becomes a furnace, capable of transforming your entire life. As you practice this, you will notice subtle shifts. Perhaps opportunities begin to appear that were never there before. Perhaps people begin to act in ways that support your desire. Perhaps your circumstances begin to reflect the inner reality you have cultivated. These are the signs that the subconscious mind is at work, bringing into form what you've already felt. You must not rush the process, nor question its timing. Creation unfolds according to its own rhythm, but the seed has been planted, and it will grow. Trust in the process. Trust in the power of feeling. Trust in your imagination. Let me remind you of something crucial. Your desire does not require struggle, effort, or external manipulation. All that is needed is to occupy the state of your fulfilled wish. Think of it as stepping into a room that already exists, one that has been prepared for you. The room is your imagination. The furniture, the decor, the ambience, everything represents the reality of your desire. You do not create the room by pushing or pulling. You enter it. You do not bring the objects into existence by demanding them. You see them, you feel them, you live in them. And when you leave that room and return to the outer world, you will find that the room has followed you. It manifests in your physical life because your consciousness has embraced it as real. There is a profound joy in living in the state of fulfillment. It transforms your perspective, your relationships, your work, and your health. When you feel your wish fulfilled, you carry a magnetic energy that draws circumstances and people toward you. The universe does not resist the state of satisfaction. It flows freely to reflect it. Your imagination, when combined with feeling, becomes the invisible architect of your destiny. You are not waiting for miracles. You are creating them in the most natural way imaginable. By feeling them first, I must caution you against impatience and doubt. These are the greatest obstacles to manifestation. When you begin to see a discrepancy between your inner state and outer circumstances, do not despair. Do not allow your mind to question the reality of your wish. Return again and again to the feeling of fulfillment. Remember that the outer world is a mirror. If you are patient, persistent, and faithful in maintaining the inner state, the reflection will change. Your desire will take shape. Your wish will materialize. Your reality will conform to the world you have lived in within. It is also important to cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is the recognition that your wish is already fulfilled. When you feel gratitude as though the desire has been realized, you impress it upon the subconscious mind with even greater power. Gratitude is the amplifier of feeling. It deepens the experience, intensifies the emotion, and accelerates the manifestation. Begin your day with gratitude for the fulfilled wish. Carry that feeling throughout the day. Let it saturate your thoughts, your words, your actions. Gratitude transforms imagination into experience, desire into reality. As you practice this art, you will find that you are not limited by circumstances, by time, or by other people. You are limited only by your own imagination and your willingness to dwell in the feeling of fulfillment. No external obstacle can prevent you from experiencing your desire in the mind. And when the inner experience is vivid, when it is alive with feeling, the outer world cannot resist. It must conform. You are not asking, pleading, or struggling. You are being. You are being the reality you wish to experience. Think deeply on this. Your imagination is sacred. It is the source from which all creation flows. Treat it with reverence. Guard it against negative thoughts, fears, and doubts. Nourish it with the scenes, the feelings, and the convictions that align with your desire. When you enter this inner world, enter with full commitment. Do not hold back. Live there fully, as if the wish is already accomplished. The more real it feels, the more tangible it becomes. Your inner life is the invisible script that directs the play of your outer life. I want you to understand the simplicity of the process. There is no complicated formula, no ritual, no external requirement. All that is required is to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to see it, to feel it, to live it internally. The more convincingly you do this, the faster your desire takes form. Let your imagination be rich, detailed, and alive. Hear the sounds, see the sights, feel the textures, taste the joys, and embrace the emotions as though it is happening now. Inhabit that state completely. This is not pretending, it is remembering. For all desires exist first in the imagination, and the imagination is eternal. Some of you may wonder how long it takes for a wish to be fulfilled. There is no fixed time. The law does not operate on human schedules. Some desires manifest almost immediately, while others require patience. But remember this, the moment you feel the wish fulfilled, you have already created it. Timing is only the outward expression catching up with the inner reality. The inner state is the truth. Live in it, cherish it, and the outer world will inevitably conform. Finally, I want to remind you of the joy, the freedom, and the power that comes from mastering this practice. Life is not about struggling for what you want. Life is about living in the state of your desire already realized. When you feel your wish fulfilled, you are free from lack, from doubt, from worry. You are aligned with the natural flow of creation. You are conscious of your power as a creator. And as you maintain this state, you will discover that life itself becomes a reflection of your imagination, a mirror of your feelings, a theater where every wish, every hope, every dream can be lived as a reality. So, I invite you, starting today, to practice this art. Choose one desire. Enter the scene that represents it. Live in the feeling of its fulfillment. Do this consistently, patiently, joyfully, with gratitude. Watch as your inner world shapes your outer world. Believe that your wish is already yours. Feel it, embrace it, and know that the universe must conform to the reality you have created in your imagination. This is the secret, the power, the art of living your wish fulfilled. Your imagination is your most precious tool. Your feeling is your secret weapon. And your inner state is the key to all creation. Step boldly into the feeling of your fulfilled wish. Do not wait for circumstances to change. Do not beg the world to grant you your desires. You already possess the power. You already hold the key. Feel it now. Live it now. And watch as the impossible becomes inevitable, as your wish moves from imagination to reality with a certainty that is unshakable. Now, let us go deeper into the understanding of this principle, for it is not enough to know it intellectually. Knowledge alone cannot transform your life. It is in the experience of the principle that its power becomes undeniable. I want you to imagine right now that every desire you have ever held is already fulfilled, not someday in the distant future, not if the circumstances align, but here and now, in this very moment. Imagine it vividly. Hear the sounds that accompany it. See the scenes unfold as naturally as life itself. Feel the emotions that arise from having what you long for. Let the sensations course through your body. Let your entire being accept this as your present reality. As you do this, you will notice a shift. The very act of feeling the wish fulfilled alters your state. Your mind becomes calm, your heart expands, your thoughts align with the reality you are now inhabiting internally. This is the subtle magic of living in the end. It is subtle because the outer senses have not yet caught up, yet it is powerful because the inner mind, the subconscious, has accepted it as true. The subconscious mind is your faithful servant. It obeys the impressions you plant in it, and it does so without question. When you repeatedly impress upon it the reality of your wish fulfilled, it begins to orchestrate the outer world in harmony with this inner state. Consider, for a moment, how most people live. They believe that reality is dictated by the outside world. They look at what is missing, what is lacking, what has not yet appeared, and they assume that this absence defines their state. But nothing could be further from the truth. The outer world is nothing but a mirror, reflecting back to you the dominant state you occupy internally. If you occupy a state of lack, the world will show you lack. If you occupy a state of abundance, the world will reflect abundance. The key is not to manipulate the world outside, but to master the world within. This mastery begins with imagination. The imagination is not a whimsical playground. It is the laboratory of creation. Every invention, every achievement, every masterpiece began as a seed in someone's imagination. The difference between those who succeed in life and those who struggle is not effort, but the ability to live convincingly in the state of the fulfilled desire. The imagination is your portal to this state. When you enter it fully, when you feel it with all your senses, it becomes as real as any tangible object in your life. Let us explore this further. Suppose you desire a certain career, a particular position, or a level of success. Instead of worrying about how it will happen, instead of fretting over qualifications, timing, or competition, I want you to step into the scene of already having achieved it. See yourself in that position. Hear the congratulations of colleagues, the expressions of pride from mentors, the satisfaction in your own voice as you describe your accomplishments. Feel the pride, the joy, the confidence, the sense of achievement as if it is happening now. Make it so real in your imagination that your body responds with the same chemical reactions as if it were actually occurring. This is the language of the subconscious, and this is how reality begins to shift. Now, some of you might ask, how do I maintain this state when life constantly challenges me? That is a valid question, because life will always present challenges, obstacles, and apparent contradictions to your inner reality. But here is the secret. The outer world has no power over your inner state unless you give it power. Your inner reality is sovereign. You may see a lack in the physical world, but you do not allow it to influence your feeling of fulfillment. You live as though the desire is already yours, as though the end has already been achieved, regardless of appearances. It is this unwavering inner conviction that activates the law of assumption and brings the outer circumstances into alignment. Let me guide you further into practical application. Each day, take time to create a scene that implies your wish fulfilled. This scene should be short, vivid, and filled with feeling. Perhaps it is 5 minutes before sleep, or perhaps it is in the quiet moments during the day. Make it real. Use all your senses. Hear the sounds, see the colors, feel the textures, taste the joy, smell the satisfaction. Enter the scene as naturally as you would step into your own home. Do not question, do not doubt, simply experience it fully. As you do this consistently, you will notice your consciousness becoming saturated with the state of fulfillment, and the subconscious mind will respond inevitably, bringing forth the corresponding outer reality. It is also important to recognize the role of emotion in this process. Emotion is the fuel that drives imagination into manifestation. Without emotion, imagination is lifeless. It is a photograph, not a living scene. When you feel the emotions of the fulfilled, desire, joy, relief, love, pride, satisfaction, you are sending a powerful signal to your subconscious, which acts as the unseen agent in the world. The law of your inner consciousness does not discriminate. It responds to what you impress upon it. If you impress upon it a state of anxiety, fear, or lack, that is what you will experience. If you impress upon it a state of fulfillment, gratitude, and satisfaction, the outer world must eventually conform to it. Now, consider the power of assumption. Assumption is the conscious act of living and thinking in accordance with your desire as though it is already true. You do not assume lack, limitation, or struggle. You assume abundance, love, health, joy, and success. This is not a mental exercise. It is a state of being. It is living from the end rather than chasing the means. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you become indistinguishable from the reality you desire. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between reality and imagination. It accepts your assumption as truth and begins to organize all things in your life to reflect it. Imagine for a moment a seed planted in fertile soil. You do not pull it up every day to see if it has grown. You water it, you nurture it, you trust the process, and in time, it sprouts. Your desire is the seed. Your feeling is the water. Your imagination is the fertile soil. By living in the state of fulfillment, you nurture the seed until it sprouts into reality. The outer circumstances are merely the reflection of this inner process. Do not be impatient. Do not be anxious. Trust in the law. Trust in your inner state. The manifestation will follow naturally and inevitably. It is also essential to maintain a state of gratitude. Gratitude amplifies the feeling of fulfillment. When you are grateful as though the wish is already accomplished, you impress the subconscious even more powerfully. Gratitude creates a resonance in your being that accelerates manifestation. Begin each day with gratitude. Feel it deeply. Let it saturate your thoughts, your words, your actions. The more you feel gratitude, the more your inner world becomes a magnet for the reality you desire. Some of you may worry about conflicting desires, doubts, or fears. These are natural, but they do not have to control you. Every time a contrary thought arises, gently return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not argue with it, do not resist it, simply acknowledge it and return to the inner scene of fulfillment. Over time, the inner state becomes dominant, and the outer world must yield. You are not forcing reality, you are embodying it. You are living in the end, and the end is immutable once fully assumed in feeling. Think about relationships. If you desire a loving, harmonious connection, do not focus on the current challenges or the absence of the ideal partner. Instead, create a mental scene where the love you desire is already present. Hear the conversations, feel the embrace, experience the warmth and intimacy as if it is happening now. Enter that feeling fully. The outer circumstances may take time to reflect it, but the inner state is already real. The law works through your subconscious to align all conditions to express the reality you have assumed. Consider health. If you desire vitality, strength, and perfect well-being, do not dwell on symptoms or limitations. Instead, imagine yourself healthy, strong, and full of energy. Feel the vitality in every cell of your body. Sense the freedom of movement, the clarity of mind, the exhilaration of energy coursing through you. This feeling, when consistently impressed upon your subconscious, has the power to transform the body. The inner state governs the outer expression, and by feeling health, you bring it into manifestation. Financial abundance is no different. Do not focus on scarcity, bills, or obstacles. Instead, create a vivid scene in your imagination where wealth flows freely to you. Feel the freedom, the security, the joy of abundance. Imagine spending, giving, saving, and sharing as if it is already true. The subconscious mind receives this impression and moves to organize events, opportunities, and circumstances to express this abundance in your life. As you continue practicing, you will notice that your life begins to reflect the inner reality you cultivate. Opportunities appear that were never visible before. People behave in ways that support your desires. Doors open, circumstances align, and your life becomes a living expression of your imagination. This is not magic or luck. It is the natural law of consciousness at work. Your inner state is the invisible blueprint, and the outer world is the visible construction. Let us also examine the importance of persistence. The mind is easily distracted, and old habits of thought can resist change. But each time you return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you reinforce the new state. Consistency is key. By dwelling in the inner reality of your desire, you gradually replace old beliefs, doubts, and fears with the truth of your fulfilled wish. This is how permanent change occurs. Your imagination, combined with persistent feeling, rewires your consciousness and aligns the universe to your inner state. The process is simple but profound. Each day, select one desire. Create a scene that implies its fulfillment. Enter it fully. Feel it, see it, hear it, experience it. Persist with patience and faith. Maintain gratitude. Avoid doubt. Return to the feeling whenever contrary thoughts arise. Over time, your inner reality dominates, and the outer world must conform. Your wish, longed for, desired, imagined, and felt, moves from imagination to experience with inevitable certainty. As you practice this art, you will notice an expansion of consciousness. Your sense of self will deepen. You will understand the limitless nature of your being. You will realize that the power to create, to shape your life, to manifest your deepest desires has always resided within you. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are not a passive participant in life. You are the conscious creator, the master of your reality. I want you to embrace this understanding fully. Do not treat it as a theory, an idea, or a suggestion. Treat it as a living, breathing truth. Every desire, every hope, every dream is already yours in the realm of imagination. All that remains is for the outer world to catch up with the inner reality. Step boldly into the feeling. Live it fully. Let your body, mind, and spirit resonate with the fulfillment of your wish. This is not fantasy. It is the most tangible truth you can experience. Your imagination is sacred. Your feelings are the instruments of creation. Your inner state is the law in action. Do not waste a moment doubting, fearing, or resisting. Each moment spent dwelling in lack is a moment that delays your desire. Instead, step into the reality you wish to experience. Feel it deeply, persistently, joyfully. Let it permeate your being. Let it saturate your consciousness. Let it become your dominant state. And watch with quiet assurance as your life begins to mirror the reality you have embraced within. This is the path to mastery, the art of living in the fulfilled desire. Every success, every love, every abundance begins here in the invisible world of imagination. It is here that you plant the seed, water it with feeling, and watch as it grows into the physical reality you have longed for. There is no obstacle, no limitation, no force outside yourself that can prevent this. The law is impartial, unwavering, and absolute. It responds only to the state you occupy. So I urge you, begin today. Select a desire. Enter the scene. Feel it fully. Persist with faith. Maintain gratitude. Return to the feeling whenever doubt arises. Watch as your inner reality manifests outwardly. Step boldly into your creative power. Understand that you are the master of your destiny. Your wishes, your dreams, your desires are all within your reach the moment you assume their fulfillment. Feel it, live it, and know that the universe must conform to your inner reality. So now, my friends, it all comes down to this simple yet profound truth. The life you desire is not somewhere out there waiting for you to chase it. It already exists within you in the sacred realm of your imagination, in the living feeling of your fulfilled wish. Every moment you spend doubting, fearing, or waiting is a moment you give away to illusion. But the moment you choose to feel your wish fulfilled truly, deeply, unshakably, you step into a power that is infinite, unstoppable, and eternal. Understand this. You are not asking the world for your desires. You are not pleading with fate or negotiating with circumstances. You are embodying the reality that already exists in your consciousness. And when you do, the world cannot help but respond. Every circumstance, every event, every person aligns to reflect the reality you hold within. You become the magnet for your own dreams. You become the living proof that imagination, feeling, and faith are the true architects of life. So go forward from this moment with courage and conviction. Choose to live as if your desires are already yours. Feel them, rejoice in them, inhabit them fully. Let your imagination be vivid, your feelings be alive, your gratitude be overflowing. Do not wait, do not doubt. Step boldly into the reality that has always been waiting for you within, and watch as the universe bends, flows, and conspires to make your wishes undeniable, inevitable, and real. Remember this always: the power to create, to transform, and to live the life of your dreams has never been outside you. It has always been within. Feel it, own it, live it. And nothing in the outer world can resist it.